Welcome to Fundraising is Funny. I'm Lynn Wester.
And I'm Clay Buck.
Join us to share in laughter and stories as we take a lighthearted look at the profession that we love so much, fundraising.
Because sometimes we just have to laugh at ourselves.
Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. Take a moment, take a listen. Hey, this could even be called self-care.
Bring your favorite beverage and a yummy snack.
In reality, we're here to deliver on our promise. We're going to make you laugh or cringe. And if you learn something too, bonus.
See, we're serious fundraisers. We believe in this work, but we also know we do some really ridiculous things all in the name of raising a dollar. Maybe if we laugh at and with them and at ourselves, we can bring a little joy to everybody in our sector.
Now, don't worry. In that pursuit of joy, we won't name names, but the stories we share are 100% real life in the world of nonprofit fundraising.
Because, come on, fundraising is funny. Hi, Lynn.
Well, Clay.
What? Oh,
Look at all that energy.
That's a deep subject.
I mean, wow.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't even... It's another episode of Fundraising is Not So Punny. I mean, funny.
No. It's just such a shame that I didn't have human children because I'm so good with the dad jokes.
But I feel like we should apologize.
The dogs do not appreciate them.
The dogs do not appreciate you some days.
Someday, though, someday there is going to be technology that allows us to interpret human to dog.
You know what? I think I saw that on Shark Tank and they were all like, no. Because I love me some Shark Tank.
Shark Tank is fantastic.
That's how I learned how to run my business.
On Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was either that or an MBA. And I was like, Shark Tank seems better in Mark Cuban's hot.
I don't know. If we just had the technology, though, I'm sure things would get better.
Do you know what? If we convert our CRM, we're going through a conversion. So after that, everything will be better.
Oh, everything will be perfect. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's funny to me is now here's where we talk about how long we've been in the sector, right?
Oh, you mean when a database was on a floppy drive?
Oh, gosh.
Or when it was physical cards?
Do you remember the first time we did QR codes?
Do you remember the first time?
Like what was it?
Pre-COVID, pre-pandemic.
It was pre-pandemic. It was pre-Great Recession, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like 10, 15 years ago when QR codes first came out.
Oh, and you didn't have you had to have an app on your phone.
You had to have a specific app, and like they failed. Well, now, post-pandemic, QR codes are ever.
The best comeback since Share. I mean, my friend Matthew is like, QR codes have had the best comeback since Share.
That is, Matthew, I can hear Matthew's
Share at 70. I mean...
70 plus.
Dolly Parton in a Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders outfit.
Hello.
I don't even look that good now.
Right, but QR codes, like they actually work now. We don't have to have a phone. People are using
Beyonce.
them. My favorite use of QR codes that I have seen recently is putting QR codes in the header of emails.
I'm sorry?
Putting QR codes in the header of emails.
For those of us that print our email? Why? I'm sorry. I believe I misheard you.
No, we put the QR code in the header of the email so that people can scan it and go to the website and give. Duh.
From my email. Well, I've also driven by billboards with QR codes on them and thought.
Because at 75 miles an hour, I'm going to pull out my...
I be scanning. Hey. Did you know that in the United States, I'm a nerd fact. So here we go, nerd fact, because I want to hear your story. But first, I want to interrupt you.
No, that was my story. Really, the story is
short story.
Short story. QR codes and emails. True story. Actually happened.
I did a pun.
And
I did a pun.
Well done.
I did a pun.
But literally, my response was, and it was met with literal crickets. Well, not literal crickets, but like the feeling of crickets. Like I literally go. So what am I supposed to do? Pull out my phone and scan the email that you sent me that I'm reading on my phone and scan the QR code to go to the website? Or do I hold my phone up to my computer screen?
Oh, I've done that.
To scan
QR codes.
I actually have too.
I've done that on the TV as well in order to get
but that's what they're made for on the TV.
Oh, dear.
But on my screen, I'm going to hold up my phone to the computer screen to scan the QR code in the header of the email to go to the link.
But wait, I have something nerdy to say.
Jack
I was going to say, I have something nerdy to say that's not related.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Did you know that traffic deaths in the United States are increasing and have been increasing ever since cell phone usage?
I'm not a bit surprised. That's awful and terrible.
Because do you know the other reason why?
Tell me.
So we use cell phones while we drive much more than other countries. You know why?
Why?
Because nobody here can drive a stick shift like we were taught when we grew up. High five for tractors.
Yep.
Kids who were raised with tractors.
I learned how to drive a stick shift.
Me too.
In the mountains of North Carolina. Literally
Georgia here, but they weren't mountains. But
no, Georgia.
So in Europe and Asia, they all still, many cars and good cars are manual, right?
Right.
So they can't text and manual downshift. In America, the whole thing does it for you, so you can text and then you kill people.
Well, yeah, okay.
So that's a lot like QR codes.
I've forgotten what we were talking about, but yeah.
QR codes and driving, same thing.
Well,
because you can't tech and how
we're kind of quick to embrace tech. Honestly, truly. Oh, the nonprofit sector is late adapters. No, we're actually not.
Well, we're not, but we're not very smart about adapting tech.
Yeah. It's a little thing
we're not
like
tech
to call
savvy.
Bright, shiny object syndrome. I truly don't think it's just I think it's the world.
Oh, no. We love it. I mean, how many apps do you have on your phone that you no longer use, but you downloaded once because blah, blah, blah? I'm sorry to call you out like that, but
not need to be called out like that.
I will talk to my therapist about doing that.
Like this.
But okay, I call it. So what do you call it?
Bright, shiny object syndrome.
Oh, I call it who got drunk at the conference.
Wow. Okay.
So now I want to be very, very clear. We have so many tech partners
we have
that support us and that we support, from CRMs to things that you can add to your tech stack to video companies to we believe in the use of technology. So we're not Luddites.
The problem is not that tech.
You know what the problem is?
Uh-oh.
My friend Jen taught me this term.
Yep.
It's a picnic problem.
It's a picnic?
Yeah, it's a picnic problem.
It's a picnic.
It's a picnic problem, not a Yogi Bear picnic.
Smarter than the average bear.
That's not Yogi. It's a picnic problem.
Tell me what a picnic problem is.
It's an acronym.
I figured it was something.
We love acronyms. We like LIBUNT.
Oh.
Other episode, different day.
Yeah.
Trauma. It's a picnic problem. It's the person in chair, not in computer. Picnic. Person in chair. Not in computer.
Yeah. It's a
otherwise
problem.
Known as garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Otherwise known as your CRM conversion isn't going to save you.
I'm just going to commit a little fundraising blasphemy here. And I am confident that every single one of our tech partners would say the same thing. The technology is just a tool.
It's a tool. Not just a tool, but a tool.
What? You just got all Midwest.
Oh, a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. Indeedy. Oh, let's have some pretzel and Jello salad here.
Shout out to our amazing colleagues in the Midwest.
My mom's born and raised Chicago.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, indeed.
I know.
South Side.
Yeah.
She's a gangster.
Hey there.
Hey there. Vanderpool. Elementary. She can tell you exactly which street.
Go Bears.
Oh, go Bears. Da Bears.
Anywho.
All this to say, the tech isn't the problem. And it's not always a picnic problem. But, okay, so Clay.
Yes.
If you were to look upward and think, because that will make you seem wiser, what percentage of the tech that they already have do nonprofits use? So Clay, you recently, in the past 5 years, purchased a new Subaru.
I did. Yes, it's true.
A new Subaru. And we like Subaru because they give back to charity.
I love, yes.
Does your Subaru have features on it that you have not used?
Yes. And my Subaru has features on it that I don't know how to use and use badly.
Don't you believe that there should be an orientation to the new vehicles?
Hi. Guess what? There is. With Subaru?
Oh.
There is.
After you buy it?
About...
You don't have to just watch YouTube videos? They'll walk you through it like a plain spoken person that you are.
Here's how smart they are. You go, you're excited, you get your new car or your used car that you're buying.
You're too excited to do it that day.
Right. And you go through all the paperwork and you drive it home and they give you a card and say, call this number within a month and schedule your time. And you come back and you spend another hour with somebody who sits in the car with you.
On your lap?
In the car. No, they sit in the passenger seat and they let you press all the buttons and they let you break things because they're there to fix it with you.
Oh my God. Like Apple does in their Genius Bar.
Like Apple does in their Genius Bar.
Who did that for our tech?
Now, I don't remember half the things that they told me, but even so, so like other episodes, experience. I will never forget that experience.
I know.
And I never forget the gratitude of having somebody who didn't talk to me like I was stupid, who took the time to show me what every button did.
And not just said, well, you're going to have to convert to a new car. Well, after the conversion, it'll be okay.
Right.
You know what we need to convert?
You know what they didn't do? They also didn't send me an email with a link to videos that I have to watch whenever I have a question.
Lots of our software providers do that.
You know, I was going around the highway at 75 miles an hour. I stopped to scan a QR code and I got a flat. So now I got to go to an email to watch a video to see how to change my tire.
I want to use a QR code to download some snacks into my belly.
It will happen, right? It's going to happen one of these days.
Will I be full, though?
Will I be rich? Will I be pretty? Here's what she said to me.
He turns everything into a musical. And so at the interlude, we're going to take a snack break.
Have a snack.
Hopefully he'll stop singing by
Whatever
then.
will be.
Just stop singing. We're back.
The future's not ours.
Singing. Wow, how special that is. Remind us to tell you the tomato story sometime, because let me tell you.
Told that story on this episode? Okay, not this episode, but the tomato story is epic. Yep.
So we were talking about tech, QR codes, things like that. So as you looked up into the wisdom skies, what % of the tech that we actually already paid for?
I hate to sound like a consultant, because my first response is going to be, it depends. It depends on the shop. It depends on the attendant.
Try harder.
But I'm going to guess how much what percentage are we actually using?
Yeah, ballpark it like a hot dog.
40, 50%.
Right. Like, I got a new iPhone. I don't know all the things, and I won't, before I trade it in, know all the things I can do with the phone.
Because they're going to come out with new before I learn this one.
And can we get some new emoji?
Tech does.
Can we get some new emoji? It evolves. Like Pokemon. It evolves. And I know lots of people like Pokemon. Special wink to my significant other who enjoys a Pikachu and things.
I have been shopping
and a Squirtle.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a problem. So all this to say it is,
love what you love.
Who got drunk at a conference and said, we need a new tech. We need a new. Now, again, we're not Luddites.
No.
I love tech. I love our tech partners. But here's the challenge. I feel like we don't partner enough. And we don't learn from them, because they would tell us, hey, here's how to use this tech for good. Here's how to incorporate it in your day-to-day lives. And by the way, you have 20 users that you've paid for, and 11 of them haven't logged in 9 months.
There you go. I have said now for a good decade, at least, that it is the most exciting time to be in fundraising. Oh. Why? Because we have better tools than we've ever had, and we have more research and data.
And we have choice.
And we have choice. Our tech partners are pushing out phenomenally good. And I'm saying this writ large, right? Like across the sector, our tech partners are pushing out phenomenally good white papers and ebooks and learnings and statistics that they're finding based on how donors behave and fundraising works from what they're learning from the tech, because we can gather data in ways we've never been able to.
They're also hiring more and more people from the sector to work in their companies, which has dramatic impact.
Right. And these tools that are coming out are truly like game changing. Shameless plug. I love it. Right. A lot of the tools are game changing and phenomenal and can revolutionize the way. What we also have to acknowledge, though, is the principles haven't changed. And I think that's one of the problems with tech.
Tech isn't going to make fundraising happen when you're not doing it.
And tech does not change the fundamentals of fundraising. That fundraising is about human connections, humans giving to humans for causes they believe in. The tech is just a tool to facilitate that.
It's a tool. It's one of the tools. It doesn't also replace authentic, genuine connection, which we're going to have a whole episode.
Facilitates it.
Right. We're going to have a whole episode on AI eventually, which love, hate, like it's an interesting point that we're at right now with its development. And I'm kind of eager and scared. And anyway, that's for another day. But tech, we have a lot of clients that say, well, after we convert our CRM, we'll be able to. Right. And I'm like, you're able to now. You're just not thinking that way. The CRM will enable you to make that thinking easier.
I do a ton of database audits and a ton of CRM conversions.
Sure.
And there are times when the technology is so bad that the best solution is to change it, because it's years of history and neglect and not building it.
Your tires are bald.
Exactly. And sometimes it is the best choice just to redo it from scratch and start over. But don't recreate the same mistakes. There is no and I say this in huge respect and love to the technology companies that we work with, I am certain that they would agree with me. There is no single technology tool that is going to revolutionize or change the way that dollars come to you.
There's no perfect database.
That has to come to case and relationships and storytelling.
Mm-hmm. And I really think it also has to come to who's using the technology.
Right.
So, we have to think about the investment we make in training those who are using the technology. And one of the coolest shops, and, cool to me is relative. I mean, I go to bed some nights before 9, so take that for what it's worth there. Why don't you? The coolest job I saw was a role of a technologist. And so what they did is they went from department to department. This is a large organization, shocker. And they went from department to department to figure out if they were using their tech stack right.
Yeah.
What tech they needed that the organization already had that they could implement, and what automations they could do, not to replace humans with, but so that the humans were doing higher level work and the tech was doing the lower level work.
Letting the tech work for you. Right.
Right. Like there are situations in which I'm like, is that something that a computer program could do for me? Is that something that I need to be uniquely involved in? Is that something that I could apply to others? But I think, to go back to your original story about QR codes on the top of an email, we also mustn't let tech be the end all be all, or this, we'll just slap a QR code on it. And I've seen QR codes on cupcakes.
Right.
I've seen,
right.
Now there are times when I've seen really great tech and then I'm like, oh, well, that was unnecessary. Or our tech, a lot like our language, is consistently evolving. So I'll make you giggle. Here in Vegas, there are hotels that embraced tech fully.
Yep.
And then there are hotels that were like, we're going to lean out of this. So at a certain hotel, they have iPad-like devices in every room.
In every room,
they have a tablet.
Okay.
And you can control the air conditioning and you can control the rooms. You can order room service from it and everything. It's still using a 10-pin connector to charge.
Wow.
Because when they bought that tech, that was the, and I also know of a spa in Vegas, and this cracks me up, and it is a really nice spa, and it has a room where you and your friends can hang out, and then you go to your services, and it has a hole in the wall cut out with like a mounting bracket, and it has a hole for you to connect your device to it. Yeah, it's the old USB, nice. And they just haven't, it's not worth it. So we've got a hardware issue too, whereas in our world, we have a lot of software issues.
Sure.
The hardware issue in our world is the people.
Say that again.
The hardware issue in our world is the people. It's the people in chair, not in computer.
Yeah.
Right? It's the users. Yeah. I also think that it's resourcing. So we want all these shiny new tools, but have we resourced the human beings to help integrate them into our culture? Have we looked at what that's going to look like in implementation at our organization?
So I hear you completely. And if you had to ask me what the punchline of all of this is, starting with QR codes on emails, what's the punchline? Well, to me, it's accepting the idea that that tech and data literacy are now critical skills in our profession.
They are.
So being able to think critically about the technology that we're adding, that we're approaching, why do we want it and what is it going to do for us? And then being able to knowledgeably add it and use it to its intent and its potential. Right?
Imagine if, I think it's great that we bring up these quandaries.
Right. There's a quandary.
Yeah. I love, me, I'm loving it.
You know what? We really need to do a Fifi
vocab list.
Vocab list. We do.
Indubitably. An old classic. Would it be cool if we created, as an industry, a questionnaire or a process document that said, before you implement new tech, here are some questions to ask? I will tell you one that I would love everyone to ask of their sales team, because the sales team is different from the implementation team, is different from the customer service team. Don't know if you know that, but the people that give you the demo aren't the ones that are going to come to your house and put in the light bulbs. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I would ask them about their customer service and how they support the product.
Yep.
And I would ask them who supports the product. Are they tech dudes or are they people from the industry who's actually done it?
Yeah.
And are they just going to send you a YouTube video? Or are they going to sit in your Subaru with you and help you have an experience? Because when tech goes wrong, it's never on a random Wednesday when you've got nothing else to do their afternoon and you feel like watching 45 minutes worth of YouTube videos.
It's going to be in the middle of year end where you have to pull 100,000 records.
Or on Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or when the poopy is near the fan and there are just fan blades just waiting for it to happen. And so what does that look like? Are they, one of the things I saw from a company this year that I just loved is on Giving Tuesday. It's an online giving platform. Mm-hmm. Some of our friends who will remain, our friends forever, they extended their hours and they said from sun up until you go to bed.
It's like the Butterball.
Yeah, it's the Butterball hotline.
Turkey hotline.
Oh, there should be a hotline. Man. Remember our president on West Wing said that, who I just love.
Yes.
President Bartlett. But they extended their hours so that you knew that you had a partner there via chat, via email, via phone number. And that's the other thing. Like I see a lot of places that are using chat bots and everything like that. But during a stressful time, I need to talk to a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
So give me one person. I promise not to use it unnecessarily. I need to talk to people. So don't just say, does the software work? But also, how are they going to support that? So what's your punchline, Clay?
I go to taking the critical look at what do we need, why do we need it, and what is it going to do for us? Mm-hmm. What do we really need this to do, right? Mm-hmm. That critical thought about that QR code, it would have taken a second to go, wait a minute, if we put a QR code in an email, how does somebody scan this? Because think about
in a mirror.
Right. Think about the end user, and the end user for your tech is your donor.
Yeah. And I don't have a printer to print my emails, unfortunately.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
So, and I'm not running to do Kinkos even exist anymore? I think they're
No, I think
they kind of got eaten by mailboxes or FedEx or one of those.
Or whatever.
I will tell you a tech that never goes out of style.
Is it going to be love?
Gratitude and love.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for all of you. So I want you to email us at fundraisingisfunny.com. Go to our website and tell us about a time when
tell us your
tech.
Stories. Yeah.
Or tell us an app you can't live without.
Yeah.
Tell us what is the simple, I hate to call them fundraising hacks. I feel like that's so overused, but tell us what you love. Tell us, we want to hear your stories. And we're so grateful also to all the companies that venture into our space to help make our tech better.
I am here for the entrepreneurs and the thinkers that are looking at the space going,
what's next?
You know what? Let's build the better mousetrap.
The futurists, right? What's next and how am I going to make this better? I'm here for it.
Funneling and fueling generosity.
Funneling and fueling. So we call Fundraising is Funny fifth. So fundraising is funneling.
Okay, we're going to play with that and come back.
Which
we'll come back on that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you come and share your tech stories. Share us your tech frustrations too. We'll talk it through.
Talk to you later, folks.
Thanks, everybody.